Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Stars of NUST. I'm your host, Sana Zafar. हम आपके लिए लाते हैं अपने ग्रेजुएट्स की ब्रिलियंट सक्सेस स्टोरीज ऑल अक्रॉस द ग्लोब। आज के स्पेशल गेस्ट ने हमें ज्वाइन किया है फ्रॉम बे एरिया यूएस। ये EME कॉलेज के ग्रेजुएट हैं और उसके साथ साथ ये 5 साल NUST यूनिवर्सिटी के बहुत पॉपुलर फैकल्टी मेंबर रह चुके हैं। We have with us Dr. Ali Khayam. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Ali. Thank you for joining us.
Walaikum assalam. Thanks for having me, Sana.
Dr. Ali ने EME से ग्रेजुएट किया back in 1999 when he completed his computer engineering और इस वक्त he is general manager at Amazon Web Service. इसके बीच में इनकी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोफेशनल जर्नी रही है, हम उसके बारे में उनसे क्वेश्चंस करेंगे। आइए मिलते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। बहुत सुबह हमने आपको तंग किया और आपने टाइम निकाल लिया। थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग अवेलेबल एंड थैंक यू फॉर ऑल द कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑल अलोंग।
इतनी सुबह नहीं है, it's okay. It's 8 a.m. so it's not too bad.
Thank you. So you're in Bay Area. It sounds like a very happening place. बहुत नस्तियंस हैं वहाँ पे. Is it a fun place to be with the family? You have very young kids.
जी, Bay Area is awesome. Bay Area में क्योंकि weather बहुत ज़्यादा change नहीं होता, तो इसलिए it's a great place to raise a family because you can be outdoors a lot. आपके जो है बहुत बारिश भी बहुत कम होती है और टेम्परेचर फ्लक्चुएशन भी बहुत कम है। तो नहीं, जिस तरह इस्लामाबाद का मौसम है उससे मिलता जुलता मौसम है यहाँ पर। तो बहुत ज़्यादा सर्दी भी नहीं होती और बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी भी नहीं होती। गर्मी कम होती है इस्लामाबाद से। So उस लिहाज से it's a really fun place. We are very close to the mountains. We are right next to the ocean. And if you want to go to a desert or snow, they're just like a couple of hours of drive from where I live. So Bay Area is a really nice place to raise kids.
Wow, sounds like it. आपके माशाल्लाह बड़े young बच्चे हैं. I think your youngest one is 1 year old.
नहीं, यंग नहीं है सारे। कुछ यंग है। तो जी, आई हैव 3 किड्स। मेरी जो बेटी है वो 12 साल की है, मेरा बेटा 8 साल का है और उसके बाद हमारी एक बेटी है जो कि 1 साल की है। तो वी हैव one young kid.
So how is it to work with such a young kid doing home office and everything?
अभी तक तो ठीक था जब तक कि वो चल नहीं रही थी। जब से उसने चलना शुरू किया मैंने ऑफिस जाना शुरू कर दिया क्योंकि अब वो काम नहीं करने देती। लेकिन द फर्स्ट ईयर वाज फाइन बिकॉज़ द 2 elder kids जो है वो स्कूल चले जाते हैं और छोटी वाली जो है वो शी वाज नॉट वॉकिंग सो इट वाज फाइन। बट या अब जो है ना इट्स बिकम मोर चैलेंजिंग एंड आई एम गोइंग टू द ऑफिस मोर ऑफ्टन।
Yes, I can imagine because that's a very demanding age, especially when they get mobile and all.
Absolutely. They need your complete and undivided attention.
Definitely. Please थोड़ा सा बताइएगा अपने EME के टाइम के बारे में. How was it? How fun was it? And please, I'm looking for some fun stories, some fun memories. Yes, please give us something interesting.
EME was fun and EME was a lot of fun. It was some of the best years of my life. I met some of my lifelong friends there. और अभी तक हम बड़ा टाइटली निट ग्रुप हैं। हम जब गए थे तो EME के NUST के बैचेस बहुत छोटे होते थे। Very few people would actually be there. So everybody knew everybody. Kind of inside of a college, everybody knew everybody. So lots of friends from those days, which we are still close friends with. The entire group is pretty connected and active through WhatsApp and other social media. So I have a lot of fun memories of not so many about studies, but other things that that we were up to. If I have to pick one, probably the funnest memory is that EME college में हमारी पूरी class, we were the first batch of computer engineering. 15 लोग थे, we were the first batch of computer engineering. We are dinosaurs. So there was a mutiny case built against us in EME college.
Wow.
So yeah, EME college where they had like a quarter guard where they would actually lock people up as well. It was a thing at that time. So जो है ना हम लोगों में एक we had amazing instructors उस time पर Georgia Tech से Dr. Shoaib, Dr. Moeed, Dr. Said, Dr. Faraq Kamran वापस आए थे, तो we had excellent instructors. लेकिन दरम्यान में there was like this person who came to teach databases and he actually didn't teach us anything. And most of the times it was okay because we would just learn on our own and it was fine, but he wasn't even giving us the right material. He was just not really showing up for classes, and then he shows up with an exam that was just like MIT में शायद वो exam लोगों को देते थे। So we looked at it, we had no idea, we didn't even know what those words meant, right?
Wow.
So I have a friend if he's listening, Abu Bakr, I remember he was one of the top students in the class. He got so upset that he went and he just sort of like threw the empty exam in front of that teacher. I was the second one and everybody stepped out, just left an empty exam over there. So this was the first time. At that time they were like really strict. Abhi to bahut relaxed ho gaye. So we were the first batch as well. So we all walked away without actually submitting anything because we didn't even know what to write. In all fairness, तो उन्होंने जो है ना mutiny का केस बना दिया हमारी पूरी क्लास के केस में. So then mutiny letters were issued. So we figured out कि वो लेटर पहले वाले ख्याल में हमारी क्लास में मेट्स को जब मिला तो वो तो उसके पेरेंट्स तक किसी तरह पहुंच गया, लेकिन बाकी सबको पता चल गया तो everybody was just monitoring their mail and we just kept it to ourselves. साइन उसको कुछ साइन करके भेजना था, हमने खुद ही साइन करके वापस भेज दिया. So that's probably one interesting memory from
that sounds
back in
really
the day.
fun. फिर क्या हुआ उस कोर्स में? You had to take that
course
course
change
alone.
कर दिया. नहीं, I'm like our teachers stood by us. I'm like that was the beauty of that, right? When we had like these really brilliant teachers and they came and they said that this is one of the best classes they taught, and they really stood by us. जाके audit करेंगे वाकई क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा है, and they actually changed the teacher.
Okay. Then it worked your way. But yes, sounds very interesting,
Yeah,
or even more interesting because of how strict the rules and everything was at EME at that time.
Oh yeah, it was
Must
bad.
have taken a lot of courage to do that.
It was stupidity more than courage, but yeah, it was. We were young and we were stupid, but yeah. I used to get fined a lot because वो हर चीज पे फाइन करते थे. मैंने आपको नहीं करते, आपने 10 में आपके 10 में बंद नहीं है, आपने शेव नहीं की हुई, आपके बाल सही कटे नहीं हुए. By the time I graduated, I had like 90,000 rupees outstanding fines. Back in that day, it was a lot of money.
90,000 rupees. Wow, that is a lot.
So I remember that was an interesting conversation with my father. Right, he has to pay 90,000 for me to get the degree. But yeah, that was not the only. That was a very small part of our journey over there. It was a lot of fun. I mean, like most of my memories are extremely bright and fun with my teachers as well as with my friends.
That sounds really fun, माशाल्लाह. थोड़ा सा आते हैं आपकी प्रोफेशनल जर्नी की तरफ. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, मैंने सुना है. You have been in diverse fields and everything. कुछ बताइएगा थोड़ा सा.
I've changed almost every 5 years of my life completely. So it's less interesting है. So I started after graduation. I started in a chip design company, Dr. Shoaib के साथ back in the day, enabling technologies. Then was renamed to Awaz Networks. वहाँ पर I worked for a couple of years. उसके बाद मुझे scholarship मिल गया NUST से, तो I came here for my masters, but then stayed here for my PhD as well, 5 years in Michigan. And then Michigan से फारिग होने के बाद मैंने I knew that I had to go back to Pakistan. I just had made up my mind during studies as well. So took the next flight back home. तो वो भी एक बड़ा decision था. I had an job offer from over here. I had Canadian permanent residence. So I declined both and I came back to Pakistan. मैंने पाकिस्तान में आके NUST में join किया. 5 years मैंने NUST में पढ़ाया as a professor and a research lab. Some of the most fulfilling and rewarding years of my professional journey. वहाँ पर alhamdulillah got an opportunity to work with a brilliant student base जो NUST में है, और they are now all over the world. So I keep bumping into them in all sorts of weird social circumstances जहाँ पर जो लोग आके मुझे कहते हैं, oh, do you remember me? And actually I'm really bad at remembering anybody, so I don't remember anybody. But yeah, it's always fun and exciting to meet students who are now very successful career professionals by themselves. उसके बाद जब मैं 5th year में NUST के 3rd year में almost, right, I started getting a little bit bored. हम research हमारी बड़ी अच्छी जा रही थी, publishing in the best places in the world. The lab was pretty active. Our students जो masters मेरे साथ कर रहे थे, they were getting placed in some of the top universities of the world, including MIT and UC Berkeley and other places. But I realized that I probably wanted to do something different. I'm like, because I wanted to teach or research की तरफ बहुत ज़्यादा focus हो गया था, whereas my passion was teaching. So you can't just teach in a university. Like I guess you have to raise the money to have the right to teach. So slowly मैंने जो है ना consult करना शुरू कर दिया NUST के ही platform से Silicon Valley companies के लिए. Few professors and some students started working for some companies in Silicon Valley. The NUST has this model where you can actually share profits and work for these companies. So वो मैंने किया a couple of years with different Silicon Valley companies. Then started my own startup. I mean, when they offered me tenure, I actually left to start my own startup. So actually, like almost on the dot 5 years of my joining, I actually left to start my own startup. Okay. वो मैंने Silicon Valley में शुरू किया. I had a back-end few engineers from NUST in Islamabad. That startup's team 1 year later, alhamdulillah, was really successful. Like in 1 year के अंदर I realized that I want to do something probably bigger than that. And that team was acquired by another startup in Silicon Valley. It's called PLUMgrid. So PLUMgrid, I was there for 5.5 years. मैंने इनकी इस्लामाबाद टीम भी बनाई, रोमानिया में एक टीम बनाई, उसके बाद यूएस में बहुत सारे लोगों को हायर किया। लाइक ऑलमोस्ट पर्सन नंबर 2 इन द इंजीनियरिंग टीम आफ्टर दे स्टार्टेड। सो मैं जो है दैट कंपनी आई वाज देयर, आई बिल्ट अ टीम इन इस्लामाबाद अबाउट 120 पीपल, जो कि इस्लामाबाद में बेस्ड थी। उसके बाद I had to move back. I mean, like I was still living in Islamabad, but I had to commute back and forth to the Bay Area, which is almost like other side of the world. 12 or 13 hours का difference है Bay Area और Islamabad के दरमियान में at different times of the year. So I was commuting every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks I had to be here. I had to spend 2 weeks here, then go back 6 weeks there, 2 weeks here. ये मेरी बेटी जो भी जा रही है basketball के लिए. She was very young at that time and she needed more attention. And then जब बेटा आया तो फिर हमने decide किया कि हम वापस US move कर जाते हैं. And we came back to the US at that time. US के अंदर PLUMgrid got acquired. I was a senior director of engineering. About 70-80% उनकी टीम थी वो मुझे report करती थी उस time पर all over the world. It got acquired. I ended up being a director of engineering at VMware. उनकी जो क्लाउड नेटिव टीम थी, अब तो काफी बड़ा बिजनेस यूनिट बन गया, thousands of people, but at that time it was pretty small. Like I started that engineering team, तो मुझे पता है कि वो बिल्कुल छोटी सी थी। वो मैंने किया। उसके बाद मैं AWS में आ गया। AWS में 4.5 साल से था, and I built many different things, including external services this time. And now I am leaving AWS to start my own startup. Again, some people never learn.
तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है और बहुत आपने जॉब स्विच करना इतना इजीली विद किड्स, इट्स ऑलवेज अ बिगर चैलेंज बिकॉज आपकी फैमिली कैन सेटल हो जाती है एंड एवरीथिंग। इट्स वेरी इंस्पायरिंग दैट यू कुड डू दैट। और जो आपने जिक्र किया अपनी सारी जर्नी का, उसमें आई थिंक जब आप सीक्स में यू वर टीचिंग एट दैट टाइम, देन यू एंड आई वर कॉलीग्स एज वेल, वी जस्ट डोंट नो दैट. But we have been
that, and I'm sorry about that. I think there were a lot of people at Seek.
I don't know
Somehow
that
our paths
either.
never crossed, which is really
yes.
very strange.
We never had any
interaction,
but it's really funny that we have been colleagues. We just don't know that. But we have mutual students, so that clarifies that. आपकी इसी जर्नी के इंटरेस्टिंग जर्नी को देखते हुए मैं आपसे पूछूंगी कि आप कोई टिप्स देना चाहते हैं जो NUST के ग्रेजुएट्स हैं, स्टूडेंट्स हैं, या जो भी यंगर एलुमनाई एट वेरी अर्ली स्टेजेस ऑफ देयर करियर, उनको क्या किस तरह से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए? इतनी ज्यादा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, शुड दे हैव इट all the time, and how does it work?
It depends on the personality. Different people have different personalities. One thing that I would recommend strongly to people who are starting their careers is be open-minded and be open to change. Things change around you. And if you're just in one field and you just become an expert in that field, it doesn't take a very long time to become experts in a particular field. And once you become an expert and you stay in that one, I mean, like that's good because a lot of job security, but then you don't get to experience a lot of other things around you. So our world is changing so fast. अगर आप सोचें तो अभी 10 साल पहले cloud computing was just a word. जब मैं NUST में था तो it was just a word, and you know जब हम graduate किया था, अगर थोड़ा सा और पीछे चले जाए, थोड़ा सा काफी पीछे चले जाए, तो उस वक्त पूरी क्लास में एक लड़के के पास मोबाइल फोन होता था, तो सेल फोन was like a thing, right? Like only one person in the whole class could have it.
Yeah.
So there's so much that changes around us so quickly that just being in one vertical anymore, जो कि पहले life used to be that way, that you'd be just in one vertical and you'd spend your entire life that way, is not really relevant anymore. अगर आप today की day and age को देखें, जो working environment है. So I think that's one thing that we need to keep in mind, that we should be open to change, we should be open to making mistakes and learning from them, but become a continuous learner. I think that's one thing that is important, that you just continuously are learning new things, you're diversifying your skill set, and that will be the fundamental thing. The second feedback that I give to everybody is don't follow your passion if you're not good at it.
Okay.
So Pakistan Idol has taught us one thing. It is just because you're passionate about singing does not mean you should be a singer. So find things that you're actually good at and do those things first. So just being passionate is not enough to succeed.
That's a very interesting thing. That actually इससे मुझे एक और क्वेश्चन माइंड में आ रहा है कि आपने जब इतनी डाइवर्सिफाइड फील्ड्स में आपने काम किया, you have been switching and you are ready to switch once again at this point as well. If in a hypothetical universe money had nothing to do with professions, what would you be?
I'll be a teacher. There's no question about it. Yeah, I'll teach.
That's an interesting answer. चलिए एक और क्वेश्चन की तरफ आते हैं, जो कि quite close to my heart. अब 2022 में हम हैं, आपके क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है, बहुत ज़्यादा फील्ड्स का है, सिर्फ स्ट्रिक्टली एक एकेडेमिया की हम बात नहीं कर रहे, हम जनरल बात कर रहे हैं. अगर do you think that now we have achieved a female conducive work environment, or are there glass ceilings still there?
I think दो different question है ये. Are the work environments more female conducive? I believe they are. They're more female conducive in terms of there is a realization that we need to have more diversity in the team. This is not just here in the US. यहाँ पर तो काफी बड़ी movement है उसके around, but yeah, even back home, that is true. But the other question is around glass ceiling and opportunities, and those are, you're absolutely right. I think they're not where they need to be. And anybody who says they are, there's no glass ceiling, it's either not really reading the situation properly or they're lying. क्योंकि glass ceiling इसलिए नहीं होती है कि आप कहते हैं यार मैंने जो these women in my team, I'm not going to promote them. That's not what people say. What people say is that, oh, you need to be at the same bar, need to be put in the same hours, those crazy hours somebody else is willing to put in when they have other responsibilities that they do need to take care of at home and other places. जो कि बहुत सारे men are exempt from it just because they're men. So I think वो जो connecting them with the right opportunities and setting the right expectations and not having them sort of like become this like ladder climbers like all the other men around them is what is still missing. I'm not a fan of quota systems or anything. I don't think that is what women need. Yes. What they need is an equal opportunity, and equal opportunity means कि जितना work expected है उस जो expected है उस individual से उस position से उसके against उनको gauge किया जाए versus the other people who have more, because they have more time, they can get ahead because they have more time. So I think that is what creates this what you're calling glass ceiling, not because people say, oh, we don't want to promote, but they don't want to factor in the other considerations that come with female team members. So I think there's much more that needs to be done over there. We are just very early on that it's just starting on that process. Like in मेरे ख्याल में we're going in the right direction.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much. Seriously, because आप जैसे सक्सेसफुल मेल्स का पर्सपेक्टिव बहुत जरूरी है. इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ क्वेश्चन जो बहुत रिपीट भी करती हूँ मैं इंटरव्यूज में, बट व्हाट यू सेड दैट वी डू नॉट रियली रियलाइज व्हाट क्लास सीलिंग्स मीन. जब हम इनविजिबल बैरियर्स की बात कर रहे हैं तो हम शायद थोड़ा सा भूल जाते हैं कि हम क्या कह रहे हैं. और मैंने लेटली भी एक इंटरव्यू में जिक्र किया था कि जब हम ये कहते हैं कि उनको थोड़ी सी भी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दे देते हैं फीमेल्स को टू टेक केयर ऑफ देयर फैमिली, वी डू इट लाइक we are doing them a favor, or now they are not equal, they are getting some extra leverage. But that's not right. You are getting the time to take care of your family. You are not getting a vacation time. You're not getting a time to just make up extra efforts अपने काम के लिए put in कर सकते हैं. You are doing something which many men can't, so you have to. So yes, you understand कहना बहुत जरूरी है, and I'm really really glad whenever my guest says something like that he actually understands.
पाकिस्तान के अंदर तो मेरे ख्याल में एक एक्स्ट्रा भी इसका पॉइंट है which I think I should highlight, which is कि 50% of my students journey, 40 to 50% would be girls in all courses that I would teach. But by the time I reach the workplace, 1 and a half year down the line, like any team that I had I'd be lucky to have 10%, 15% women, right? So I think there's a big drop off over there as well. And somebody needs to do something about that. US में problem is different. The US में I used to teach, and like there's so few girls who graduate in tech that the problem is how do you get them excited to come to tech? But Pakistan में ये problem नहीं है. They end up there, but they actually don't end up becoming reaching the potential that they could have. So
yes, वो तो बड़ा deep rooted problem है. उस पर भी हम बहुत लंबी बात कर सकते हैं. But चलें हम फिलहाल focus आप पे ही रखते हैं. इंटरव्यू रैप अप करने के लिए हमने एक नया सेगमेंट स्टार्ट किया है विच इज कॉल्ड अवाम का सवाल, एंड वी ट्राई टू रीच आउट टू द फ्रेंड्स ऑफ आवर गेस्ट्स. और आपके फ्रेंड्स में से एक क्वेश्चन है मेरे पास. डॉक्टर वहीद बाजवा ने आपसे पूछा है, हु वाज योर और हु इज योर फेवरेट जूनियर फ्रॉम डिग्री 19?
Wahid, of course.
It would have been really fun अगर आप ये ना कहते तो.
Of course not Wahid.
Yeah.
Change that. There are a lot
Please
of
think
fun.
of some other name. Make it
Yeah. Afan for sure. I've worked with Afan a lot. So Afan is there. By the way, my memory is actually pretty bad. So I map juniors to different degrees. So if I'm making a mistake, just please correct me.
Dr. Wahid is definitely from degree 19 और इसी hope में उन्होंने ये question
तो इसलिए वो तो कम से कम एक आंसर मैंने ठीक दे दिया.
Yes.
लेकिन Afan was we've been friends since he graduated, और उसके बाद भी we worked together as well. So that's another person that I've stayed pretty close to. But yeah, Wahid, Afan, I think I've been in touch with Ali Hussain. I don't know whether he's from 19 though, so I'm a little hazy on which degrees they're from. But there are a bunch of them. Wahid is definitely one of them.
Hopefully you'll be very happy to hear that. Thank you so much. आपने कुछ जिक्र किया था कि आप अपना कोई सेटअप जर्मनी में स्टार्ट करें and you want to talk about that?
मैं शुरू कर रहा हूँ एंड एक नई स्टार्टअप काफी इंटरेस्टिंग किस्म के स्पेस के अंदर है एंड हम लोग सिलिकॉन वैली में और जर्मनी में अपना सेटअप शुरू कर रहे हैं. सो दे वांट टू टॉक अबाउट इट कि यार ये शुरू हो रहा है विद वेरी अर्ली स्टेज बट अ प्रीटी बिग आइडिया पाई इन द स्काई टाइप ऑफ विजन. तो अगर आप में से कोई भी इंटरेस्टेड है इसके अंदर अप्लाई करने में तो प्लीज डू रीच आउट टू मी. हम हायर कर रहे हैं डेवलपर्स जो कि बेसिक क्लाउड और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इंजीनियरिंग की साइड पर भी हो बट आल्सो ऑन द फ्रंट एंड एंड बैक एंड सिस्टम्स की साइड पर भी. तो एनीबॉडी हु इज इंटरेस्टेड प्लीज डू रीच आउट टू मी.
And thank you, that's a very generous offer. Thank you so much. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग इंटरव्यू है, बहुत मजे की बातें बताई हैं आपने. वी कैन गो ऑन बट हमारे पास टाइम थोड़ा लिमिटेड ही होता है. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing all of that, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavors, especially the new startup you're starting.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. Allah Hafiz.